Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Ready 2000 podcast. I'm here with the birthday boy.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my
Hey.
birthday. I have so much energy. Not only because it's my birthday, but I got to see Deadpool. Thank God. First off, I just want to say, thank God I saved it till Saturday. I got to see Deadpool on Saturday. In, like, at 10:30. See, I can't even get the words out, guys. I'm so fucking excited. Oh my God. All right. At 10:30. We're in the movie, we're chilling. Great movie. We're gonna get into that. We come out to fucking the biggest Marvel.
I think the two things we'll be talking about in this episode is we just watched Deadpool Wolverine, and earlier today was Marvel Studios Hall H panel for 2024, and a lot of news got released there that we can talk about too. So it'll be a two-parter. We'll talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, our review, and Marvel's Hall H announcements. Which one do you want to start off first? Actually, I think it'd be better if we start off with the Deadpool and Wolverine one, because that could lead into
Oh,
what we
absolutely,
can see in the future.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to get out the circumstances of what the fuck just happened to me in the theater
On your birthday.
on my birthday, completely decked out in green. That's a spoiler for later. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I have a green hat, green shirt, green shoes. It's crazy. Green ring. All right, but yeah.
So you went with
Went with some friends. You know what I'm saying? We went with some friends. They were gracious enough to come out for my birthday and watch Deadpool with me. I really appreciate that. And honestly, I told my friends that Marvel is in free fall. Marvel is desperately needs a win, and it's all leading up
again.
to Wolverine.
I think you're jumping around again. I think that's
No, I don't. I think this is a great intro into the movie because I just want to reiterate.
Oh, you mean like where your expectations were?
Yeah, I'm like, I was like, okay, this movie needs to hit. Marvel needs this to be a dub because let's phase 4 and 5 weren't fucking fantastic, and then you got Kang the Conqueror who was a dud. So this movie needed a hit, and let me tell you, folks, let me fucking tell you, this fucking movie, man, it's really good. They did it, bro. Yes, I will say there's a lot of fan service off rip. If you're not into fan service stuff, and if you're not into behind the scenes jokes, then I could see people being lost watching this movie. But all in all, my initial reaction to this, just coming out of the theater, getting on a hot mic, this movie was 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I went to go watch it earlier today. I went to the IMAX theater in Lincoln Square. The entire room was packed. That movie was fucking awesome. Holy shit, that movie was awesome. Oh my God, I love this movie. I could see some criticisms. If I have to start off with some criticisms there, I can understand some of the motives and writing for some characters are just like the scenes just like transition to one scene to another. It's just like flowing in, it doesn't really feel natural. But I haven't heard that there was too much fans. Okay, yeah, that's true. There's fan service here. But this was perfectly made for Deadpool. This is a perfect Deadpool movie.
What a vehicle for Deadpool.
I feel like some people were complaining that the movie didn't push the MCU forward. And I'm like, if there's a movie that doesn't need to do that, it's more Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And I
there's
was
no,
actually,
it doesn't end with like,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, it doesn't end. So yeah, but yeah, that's one of the complaints. The movie didn't push the MCU forward in like some crazy like big reveal villain. No, it's a great Deadpool movie. I absolutely had a blast with this one. My theater went nuts. Yeah, all in all, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think Deadpool is a really tough character to crack because he's so obnoxious, and he's a character that, given to the wrong studio, given to the wrong hands, would fail epically. Epically. Only people like Ryan Reynolds who understand when to bring emotion and when to bring the levity, the jokes. It's a give and take. But Deadpool is extremely annoying. This movie fucking worked with Wolverine. Like, it's crazy to me that this is what I wanted with Deadpool and Cable. Like, Deadpool and Cable, I wanted this to feel like Deadpool and Cable's relationship, where it was like, They're constantly butting heads, but at the end, I can understand that now they're friends. In Deadpool 2, by the third act, I felt like they're just friends because the story's telling me that they're friends. Whereas in this one, that scene where give the man his Oscar. That was a great scene where Hugh Jackman is like just goes off on Deadpool. Like literally breaks him down to a fucking molecule. He's like, oh, you just talk a lot of shit and you're annoying and no one likes you and I can't like no wonder you're the only person who exists in this. I'm like, oh, and
you couldn't even keep a relationship with a stripper.
You can even keep and then quiet and just Deadpool. I'm gonna beat you up right now.
He's gonna be so good. He goes, "We're gonna fight now."
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that scene for me when they're fighting and they're like, it didn't feel like the first time they fought where it was like rage and they were mad at each other. That felt like two friends who love fighting, and they're like, we're gonna duke it out and we're gonna have fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that moment, I think, for me in the movie, really transitioned the friendship between Wolverine and Deadpool, where it was just like, okay, you guys got these two really main big characters. I'm not really gelling with them first act, and that's that second act with that fight. I was like, oh no, they work. They absolutely work.
Let's talk about that intro. That was so brilliant to literally be. I know what everyone's thinking, to not tarnish the legacy of Logan. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it's literally him digging up Logan, like digging up the remains of a great movie they said they won't touch. And he's absolutely at the grave touch. I remember seeing that and be like, this is brilliant. And then the whole fight sequence with Logan's adamantium body is like so badass. And
they're playing
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys, yeah. Just fantastic.
I
think it is Backstreet Boys, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Backstreet Boys.
But that's what I'm trying to get at is that this movie has a lot of, man, it sucks because it's like, it's for the fans. And Ryan Reynolds has been saying that the entire marketing circuit, while trying to market this movie, that, hey, man, we made this for the fans. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fan service in this. And scenes like that you were talking about, where are we really going to desecrate this?
Of course, that's what I mean when I say that this movie's perfect as a Deadpool movie. Because I feel like that fan service argument is very valid when you try to tell a very grounded, serious superhero story. And once you do that with Deadpool, yeah, you could just throw in fan servicey characters in there, but we also have to matter in a sense. But you could still have a good enough balance of like, we're gonna use this character as fan service, and then we're just gonna use him as a joke. Yeah, of course, it's totally. There's definitely other movies out there like, we got this character and he came back, but then he died, and then I'm looking at Multiverse of Madness. Here's Xavier, psych, he's dead. Here's Captain Marvel, psych, she's dead. Okay, great.
Yeah, because for me, what I mean by fan service, because there's two sides to fan service. There's huge. I don't know if we want to go into spoiler territory yet, but some huge cameos in this. Some huge cameos. But for
spoiler.
Me, yeah.
No, spoiler alert. This is completely spoiler.
From this point on, okay. But by two fan service, one of them is cameos that are clearly meant for claps, and then the other is people like me and Jimmy, my friend Jimmy, and you, who go online and just dissect or fucking digest, consume anything behind the scenes. So backstage rumors.
That's fan service?
For me, that's fan service because
Wouldn't that be like jokes?
No, I'm saying like
the humor?
Fan service in the sense of like, here I go again, comparing this to wrestling. But we are but we are
great.
Yeah, we are what they call smarks. You know what I'm saying? People who know wrestling's fake and they like the behind the scenes stuff, and they're like, this guy's this. We're not just regular marks, we're smarks. We're the smart marks, that we know that we're marks. It's a hard explanation, but my wrestling fans out there, you know what I'm talking about.
You know what? I think a good example for that would be, we'll get to it later when we talk about cameos, but a certain New Orleans character shows up in this movie.
I mean, congratulations, John. I think people narrowed it down to what, 2 people?
That could mean an actor from New Orleans.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
So, wait, there you go. You fucking kicked over the sandcastle. You made it more obvious. That is a definitely in your window behind the scenes thing that a lot of people won't like. Be like, what the hell? I guess so. And it's us as people who know how the industry goes, oh, this is that thing that didn't happen and now it is. That's fan service.
Exactly. And when they announced that Wolverine was cast in this and that it's Hugh Jackman, there was a lot of talk of people being like, "Wow, Logan was a fantastic ending. Why would you do that?" You know what I'm saying? And so that fan
Mhm.
service to the beginning, you know what I'm saying, to the fans
Yeah.
who were dissecting that, digesting it, and
Yeah,
they're
I'm telling you,
literally
Ryan Reynolds is a genius at
yeah.
this. He literally, we'll get to, I know we'll get to a lot, like we keep saying that, but like he really, this Deadpool movie is, for me personally, the funniest Deadpool movie.
I think it's the best
Um,
Deadpool movie in the franchise. I'll say it.
I still like the first one more. I would have to, I gotta watch this one again. Let me watch this one more time
Actually,
because
no,
I think
yeah,
it would.
yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
the thing that's wrong with this movie that I knew coming out of the theater, and I don't give a fuck. I just think this movie's really just fun to watch and super fun.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's the some motivations, kind of the story
Yeah, yeah.
structure.
I was feeling that when I was watching the movie, and I would be like, oh yeah, I could see, I knew that was gonna be the complaint. But the movie was so funny, so entertaining, so many cameos. I'm realizing that again. Wait, I'm like watching a Deadpool comic. You're not supposed to be like, this all has weight to it. No, you're supposed to have fun with this. So much.
Yeah.
This movie's a blast. Let's keep going. Break down to the movie too.
Yeah.
So then,
So now we're getting.
that
I would say now is where what the perfect time to really criticize the movie because it's the during this part that we're getting like some motivations and Ryan Reynolds' character has split with what's her name, Vanessa. Sorry, split with Vanessa, and it's just his motivation is that his wife doesn't love him anymore and is seeing other people because he's not
yeah,
Deadpool because he wasn't accepted into the Avengers. Um,
it's money, but I saw it as like again because I didn't go too very clear with this, but it was like because remember it was his reasoning that she got shot because he's a merc and mercenary and all that stuff, right? So he definitely wanted to drop the whole merc with a mouth, have a nice life, because then that's you live a normal life now, and no one you because family and friends are important, so you don't have to worry about people killing you. Whatever. But it looks like having that normal life is what got them to separate more,
which is just
and
I don't.
yeah, it's weird.
That's confusing.
Yeah, to having that normal life, and then wanting her to come back to him to see that he matters, that he's not just Deadpool. I don't know if it's just I know he's like knocking down Deadpool, but knocking down that like he even says she's calling me on my crap.
Yeah.
Just to stop this kind of like I could do whatever I want kind of thing. I'm Deadpool, Merc with mouth kind of thing. And it's okay, now you need to come down now to the so that's why I could see. I'm like, okay, I get that. A lot of it's off screen though. You just find out they split up, but they happy. They're still relationship and everything. And then we get that scene where he's auditioning. He's in Happy Hogan's office.
Yeah.
2018.
And again, really thick fan service. Like they're talking fourth wall. Like they're talking about Kevin Feige. They're talking about like actually bringing in Ryan Reynolds to an Avengers movie. If you read between the lines, as us fans, we're cracking up. But it's funny because I went to go see this with my friend's wife, who's not into Marvel. Like I'm not. She's not that she's not into Marvel, but she's not.
Yeah.
So I was always like, I wonder, like, to a person like that, did she get the jokes because they're flying rapidly? But yeah, I could see, like I said, I could see some of the fan service going over people's heads because they don't understand the jokes.
Definitely. And then that scene confused me, by the way, when he was with Happy Hogan. I was like, how is he in the 616 or 19999 universe, whichever one? How is he in that universe? And then he goes back to his universe, went to TVA or what? You know what I mean? How that works?
Yeah, how did
Apparently, I had to look it up. Yeah, I had to look it up. His watch from Cable apparently can go through different dimensions. It's not just a time travel watch; it's also a dimension hopping watch. I was like, oh, okay. And you could just tell. Let's just have a. You could tell they wrote that in there, and then be like, how did we do that? I'm like, whatever, just come up with something funny because it was a great scene.
Yeah.
And then they have the birthday party, and the TVA show up. Great jokes coming from Ryan Reynolds being like, all right, you just getting ready to be pegged by these guys, think he's getting pegged. Like, all right, you, I can't see your eyes, you go for it. Like, God, Ryan Reynolds dude, I know I'm going to keep saying it, but this movie was fucking hilarious. You know why I keep saying that? Kind of controversial opinion here. I always thought the second Deadpool movie was just like, it just didn't hit that much.
No, I agree.
It's a good movie. Definitely a good movie. But man, every joke, or I would say half the jokes in Deadpool 2 are just recycled jokes in the first one. And I know Deadpool 2 went to a development, like, it was like, they were going to do a whole Fantastic Four thing, and it was like, no, we can't do that. So I understand there was like a big script rewrite kind of thing. But man, half that movie was just like same jokes over and over. And I'm just been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this one, man, Ryan Reynolds and his team cooked with every joke. They were so
Yeah.
meta, so current. Oh my god. Then he wakes up at TVA and he's with Paradox.
Yeah. Great name.
I like, yeah, and I love how. Oh, what is I'm here because I used Cable's watch to go back in time and change everything? No, it has nothing to do with that. Come follow me. That was great because everyone's just thinking, oh, he's probably in trouble with the watch thing and
Yeah.
all the conspiracies. No, it has nothing to come up with.
Yeah, it was weird.
My theater died at that one.
Yeah.
That was good.
And then we get a little bit of the plot and like great
See,
scene.
this is where I felt
is,
a little deflated, though.
really. This is where I
The exposition of it. Even Ryan Reynolds make the joke of it. Oh my god, the exposition. But this is where I'm like, oh, I could see this. They're just throwing stuff out there rapidly fast kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I can see
and
that.
I remember feeling like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see that because in the beginning, it's a promotion for Deadpool. It's Deadpool being promoted. You're gonna go to the sacred timeline because we want you to be an Avenger. And then they show the thing, and it's hilarious that that scene where he like goes and he salutes, and then he like goes and literally breaks the fourth wall and fuck.
Oh my god, my theater exploded. Excuse me a sec. Fuck you, Fox. What at Disneyland? And then smashes the fucking. That was so good. That one was so funny.
That's what I'm saying. And that
So
scene,
good.
fantastic. I think that scene, like you said, falls flat. The second Paradox explains his master plan. Because it seems like a villain telling you like a Bond villain telling you their master plan thing. But
or they're just telling you the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of movies do that. Hey, we're just telling you the entire plot what you're gonna be watching. I'm like, oh, okay.
Because this is the part where we get the conflict, which is he has to save his universe, or by finding a Wolverine, because
exactly, that's an actual comic accurate thing, which I didn't know is an anchor to a universe.
I love that, man.
Which is another meta thing about Ryan Reynolds. I was like, yeah, great writing. I don't know if it's Ryan Reynolds, but just the writing for this movie. Deadpool thinks he's the anchor. They're like, no. So Logan, they have that sad montage, and everyone's just be like, and he like repeats the lines, like he's like watching the Logan. God, it was so funny. But the brilliant writing of it is that universe is now dying because the anchor of that universe, obviously, like we said, is that Wolverine, and it's Logan, right? But it's also meta commentary of that's the last good Fox thing was Logan, and we're done. We're like now that Hugh Jackman's gone, it's literally the end of that universe because it's like, what are we gonna do? Hugh Jackman's gone, right? So they're using that as the.
Do you see the brilliance of that? Like, I just feel like people are going into this movie because I'm looking at the critics reviews, and it just feels like the critics are more like the movie's too filled with fan service and all that stuff. I just think like the intricacies of that layer of a joke is so funny to me.
Yeah. Also, all those critics need to get pegged.
But yeah,
and then we have that montage where before we get to that, where he gets suited up and with a brand new suit and everything. Yeah, and he comes out. I got a new suit and everything. Pretty sure Taylor's a pedophile, but a predator. But you know. It was so good. Like it was like 7 butt slaps, and
I think that was my favorite joke in the entire movie.
God, the fucking movie's hilarious. Oh my god, I've never laughed so much in a movie. I don't care if anyone's listening to this. Be like, what are you, 11? Dude, they were so funny. This movie's so damn funny.
That was probably my favorite.
And then he punches a guy, and he takes a TVA thingy and jumps at the guy who's pretending not to be gay. They have that music. It's so funny. But then they have that montage where they go see all the other Wolverines.
Yeah.
Then we have the first Wolverine. And it's oh shit, and it's comic accurate size Wolverine when he's tiny. He shows up. He's like, hey, the little guy. So good.
Another thing about people being like Hugh Jackman isn't.
Yeah. We have Wolverine with his brown suit gonna fight Hulk,
and we have a big cameo.
This one was nuts. I did not see this one coming.
I turned to my friend Jimmy and I said, that is the biggest slap in the face for DC that I have ever seen, bro. Like,
even
straight
says,
up.
We'll treat you better than the people down the street or some shit. Like, yo, we're talking about Henry Cavill showing up as a Wolverine variant. And I never knew I wanted this. But now I want this. He looked really good. I was like, yo,
He looked all right. I think he's still a little too clean cut for me as Wolverine. But it was a great seeing that like he has bad blood with DC. I really fuck with that. I'm like, yes.
And Marvel Studios coming in to give him like a fucking to not cut this scene or anything and give him like a fucking pat on the back and be like, let's do this shit.
That was really cool.
But that was way cool. And then a lot of other Wolverine Easter eggs. Like he goes finds that
He caught.
one with the big cross.
Yeah, he finds Patch.
Oh yeah, Patch. Yeah, and then there's also that one that's really badass in the future. That's really angry and shit.
Oh
with
yeah.
one arm.
Oh, when he found the Wolverine with the brown.
That's what I said. Where he's fighting Hulk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was a fucking Wolverine versus Hulk tease.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
That one was like that was one of my favorite ones. I was like, oh shit. And then he finally finds the Wolverine that we see in the movie.
The
Brings
worst
him back
Wolverine.
to TVA. The worst Wolverine brings him back to TVA. And this is where we get to learn that this Wolverine let down his entire universe, and obviously Wolverine's not going to talk about it and everything. I'm like, okay, we got to know what's going on with his character.
And see, this is the part where I think the motivation.
Sorry to cut you off, but when Deadpool looks down and goes, "Oh, would you look at that? It only took fucking 20 years." And then this is him pulling him in with the Wolverine costume. That's so good.
What was I saying? Yeah, this is the part where I think the motivation of characters starts to like dwindle because there's a mystery of what happened with Wolverine's character that he's the worst Wolverine. So it's my best I don't even know. I can't even think of words right now. But yeah, we can just cut all this.
Okay.
But no, what I was gonna say is that his character, we're not strung along the entire movie on the mystery of what happened to his character. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just constantly drinking and stuff. Yeah, it's in there, but I never felt the mystery was that important. Yeah,
they didn't devote enough time to build it up.
Yeah, but that I think, coming off of Star Wars Acolyte, where the mystery is the entire thing. You watch 7 episodes or 8 episodes. What is it, 9 episodes? I don't know. Just to get to the fucking big mystery. You know what I'm saying? And it's a dud. I didn't felt strung along in this movie with his mystery. I just knew that he was the worst Wolverine, and we'll get a reveal later on. You know what I'm saying? But I could see where a lot of people see that as that wasn't strong enough.
I agree. We might have to jump around here. I don't want to waste too much time. What happens after this? Okay, and then Wolverine, they both get pruned and get sent to the sacred. They get pruned to the void.
Yeah, great line by Deadpool when they're about to fight. He's, yo, you guys better get that cum sock ready, because that shit was so fucking good. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Wow, you know what's weird?
But yeah, I told my friends that I would deduct an entire letter grade if he doesn't put on this mask, because they're teasing throughout all the trailers that he has his legit costume and all that stuff. And yeah, just like you said, third act of the movie, I'm like, there's not a lot of time left. And I genuinely thought, especially when they were walking out, and it was the scene where they're walking out in the trailer, I tensed up because I was like, oh, and then I remember releasing, I just like completely released. I was deflated because I didn't think it was happening.
I think we have the similar experience where I felt like while they're walking slow motion, my thought process was, this is the only time left.
Yeah.
This is please. You have no idea. I was like, please.
And then he, exactly what you said, puts on the cowl, and there was moments, I swear to God, I was rubbing my eyes because I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't physically, I was like, what the he looks so good. So
fucking
good with that cowl on, that I'm like, that scene where they break out of the back of the van.
I'm getting that printed in my room, blowing that shit up. The best frame in Deadpool Wolverine was the back where they bust out in the back of that bus. It is something I needed to see for 20 years. Thank you.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds and Marvel and Kevin Feige. That's all I fucking needed. I know people are like, I want the brown suit.
No.
Just give me a Wolverine in his suit doing that berserker stance. Oh
my! And when he did,
Peter Poole shows up.
Oh yeah.
And all Deadpool's fuck yeah, Peter's a goddamn legend. They're all, yeah, all right, Peter's so good.
That's hilarious.
That's another great one, because that is also fan reaction to Peter. Like, people love Peter. They were like, we're definitely bringing him back for Deadpool Wolverine. They literally use it for like Peter saved the third act. Like, it's hilarious because people love Peter. But then there's that scene where they go to the subway. They go to the
sewers.
The subway station.
Yeah, subway station, and to stop the MacGuffin.
And they're talking, and he's like, we're gonna stop it. And he tells them again, exposition, how to stop it, but it destroys everything, but you'll die. Blah blah, whatever. Yeah. Because I was probably listening to it halfway, just like, yeah, whatever. because all I was looking at was fucking Hugh
That
Jackman with that cowl
beautiful
on and
cowl
everything.
on, bro.
And seeing it and just like seeing, there was like one person I saw was like, "Why are his eyes animated?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! It looks awesome." What the hell? They'd be like, "It looks like a cartoon." I was like, "No, fucking." It looks. There's a scene where after that talk with the paradox, they just go to where that station is, right? And it's just a medium shot of just Deadpool and Wolverine just talking. They both have their mask on. They both have the animated eyes, and I'm like, "Is this fucking real?" Am I watching this right now? This is like all I've ever wanted. This is all. Oh my god! Any other studio? Come on. I know I sound like I'm exaggerating, but dude, you have to be in my shoes where it was 20 years of always being like, let's make this face look like the comic book character. All right, quickly, take it off. The actor needs to show his face. Hurry up, quickly. No more. Take it off. Will Smith, Deadshot. Take it off. Hurry up. You can't have your white mask anymore. Fucking
Are you crazy?
Venom. Hurry up. Show his face. We need to show the actor. Any movie. I can give you a fucking list of movies because we have to keep fucking showing this actor. And I know I'm not just saying they didn't. Obviously, we see Hugh Jackman's face. I'm just saying I feel like it could have easily just been like, put on the cowl, take it off, and give him like just a scene. Isn't that fine? But no, man, fucking wears that shit throughout the entire anime.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking awesome.
And it's another thing where people like you and me and a bunch of fans.
Before that scene too, when Wolverine goes into that room, I don't even think it was just Deadpool acting. It was Ryan Reynolds saying, "I've waited so long for this like team up or something." He says, "I've waited so long for this like team or this like what the fuck does he say? I don't know, but this adventure with you."
Oh
Or
yeah,
some
yeah.
shit. He's just something like that or something like that where he's wearing, and that wasn't acting. That was Ryan Reynolds truly telling
Hugh
Hugh
Jackman.
Jackman that like I finally got to be Deadpool, and it was a success. Now we got to be together as superheroes in this adventure. Like that was like the most. That was so. Oh my god, it was great.
This is what I'm saying about the like Deadpool and meta and using meta when it works. Like you read that scene exactly like I read that scene. Exactly. I knew exactly the moment you're talking about where it's not Deadpool and it's not Wade Wilson. It's Ryan Reynolds telling Hugh Jackman in a movie where they're both starring characters that, hey, I'm glad I got to do this with you, homie. Like, you're one of my best friends in real life. Like, I read that. I hope the audience read that. You know what I'm saying? That was a really cool scene. I choked up, I think, during that scene.
Oh, absolutely, because it was like
It worked.
it worked so well. And then
They saved the world, and then
yeah, they save the world, and then they go.
everyone
Paradox
thinks
gets
they
taken by
died.
the TVA. Yeah,
Yeah, but then they come back and they're all chill. Yeah.
it was great. It was a happy ending kind of thing, which I think is pretty good because I actually didn't want another. Are they dead? Is this the end? Maybe they'll come back. Even Deadpool's no, don't worry, he's alive. You're gonna be doing this till you're 90.
Yeah. I'm seeing that everywhere now. I'm seeing that like everyone reference that for everything now that you're gonna be doing this till you're 90, bro.
And then they take away Paradox, he gets taken away and everything,
Yeah.
and then they're eating shawarma. Avengers discovered shawarma. So good. And they're just on the bench, just having
And
back
yeah,
and forth.
great. Another staple, another cliche of a buddy road trip movie. Hey, I gotta go. I'm this way. Where you were? Oh, I'm this way. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, one sec, dude.
Yeah.
I-
So good.
Do you want to come to my place and chill? Yeah, why not? Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
And he meets roommates and everyone, and X-23's there.
Such a natural
Also,
fit.
yeah. Oh, we didn't mention this earlier, but like you said earlier, I'm glad that they didn't kill off Blade and Electro and all of them in a funny comedic way because yeah, everyone's dying in the scene, but also Goliath, whatever, swarms up the scene, but we don't see them. We don't see them dying or anything because even they don't know. No, we're not like.
Final thoughts on what you think. What would you give this movie?
In 8.5. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna go. Right now. I know I'm gonna watch it once, but right now I'll give it an 8.5. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Really?
Yeah, I think this movie works in a way that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was trying to do and failed epically. This movie uses meta to its strengths. This movie is a buddy road trip movie that works. Wolverine and Deadpool are better as a duo than Deadpool and Cable. There's so much in this movie that works.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I take it back. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it exactly a 9 because I'll
Yeah.
give Deadpool 1 to 10. We put up
Exactly.
1 to 10. I'll give this one a 9 because I was trying to think in my head and I was like, what are the cons I'm taking out of this? And you know what? Fuck it. I was only thinking of like you said, motivations and build up for some characters. But then I was like, that's pretty much it. Everything else was fucking awesome. I loved everything else. So
Like
yeah,
for
that's the
me,
only point I'll take off.
yeah, for me, if you like Spider-Man, No Way Home, but you don't like Deadpool and Wolverine, then you're just being like biased, I guess.
I would absolutely agree with that. And
You get what I mean? Like it's like
yeah, the argument of this movie was awesome, but this movie was bad because of fan service. Both movies had fan service, and both Marvel Studios use fan service in the good way, in the sense of we're going to use this character. Why are we going to use this character? Why are we using X-23 to motivate Wolverine? You know what I mean? To give him this motivation kind of thing, and also to celebrate at the end of the movie during the credits. There's like a celebration of the 20th Century Fox like universes. There were good things. There were fun. There were things that we loved from those movies that we can celebrate because they are gone.
Yeah, and not only that, like it's not even about if it was good. It was a celebration of 20th Century Fox because they even showed Fan Four Stick.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like they really were like, no.
They showed Daredevil.
Yeah, when it comes to comic book movies, it's a family, and good or bad, this is a cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? This is a franchise, a theme in movies. You know what I'm saying?
How
a genre.
No Way Home, yeah, just like in No Way Home celebrated Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. And those movies, especially Andrew's, they were panned like crazy. Seeing Andrew in No Way Home was like the San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios Hall H panel. If you want to go, I can tell you from because I watched it live when they were journalists were like posting pictures and all that stuff. I was watching YouTubers live stream and shit because they don't broadcast. You just have to watch it. People who are going scalping through the internet so people can post it while journalists post on Twitter. The first thing that was up there was they had a little sing along for Deadpool Wolverine. Also, yesterday they showed Deadpool Wolverine like a screening of the entire movie to the audience. And at the end of the screening, Elektra, Blade, Gambit, and Chris Evans all showed up on stage.
Oh wow!
Yeah, isn't that cool? That was very cool.
That's awesome.
But anyways, the first thing Kevin Feige started off with was with Captain America: Brave New World. And do you know everything exactly?
Honestly, like I said, I was in the movie theater 10:30. I turned off my phone. I was in the movie. I come out to just a flood of information, and I'm just overwhelmed. That's why I was like, we need a podcast right now because I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
The world has completely shooken. Give me all the knowledge you have.
I will say you already know the big ones. That's the stuff they announced towards the end. Everything in the middle, okay stuff. So they start off with Captain America: Brave New World. Showed off some clips. Showed off the people. The cast show up on stage. It's Anthony Mackie and Juan Carlos Esposito. And Harrison Ford showed up.
Wow.
Harrison Ford showed up at the very end, yeah. And some details they announced because they showed off some clips. They didn't show this in the trailers, but apparently what people saw in the clips they saw was Harrison Ford's General Ross Thunderbolt saying that he says in the trailers, "I want to make Captain America official occupation in the government or some shit."
Yeah.
Apparently, also in that scene, he says, "I want to get the Avengers back together." So people saw that.
Oh wow.
In the clip too, Ross Thunderbolt is giving a speech in front of the White House or on a podium, and turns into Red Hulk in front of everybody.
What?
Yeah. And when Carlos Esposito revealed who he's playing, a character called Sidewinder, and he's the king of the Serpent Society. The Serpent Society are the main villains of the movie.
Okay.
So he's playing the main leader, and which is absolutely true. I'm telling you right now, no one guessed Sidewinder. I'll tell you that, no one guessed it. But it's weird because we already knew Serpent Society was going to be in the movie.
Yeah, it was.
But I guess just no one cared. Yeah, it's like an organization, and I guess no one just cared about whoever ran that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and what's his name? Tom Nelson.
Oh yeah,
the leader.
The leader.
What's his name? Actor.
Something Nelson.
Tim whatever. Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson showed up, confirmed as a leader. Some badass action sequences and stuff like that. I was like, it's cool, it's cool. This is the really interesting, juicy part. The government is apparently what's like they confirmed they're trying to capture Winter Soldier vibes.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
want.
I read that in the trailer.
Yeah. which is great because everyone felt that in the trailers, and then they confirmed like, yes, this is what we're trying to go for. Fantastic. But this is the really interesting part. It looks like world leaders and world governments are trying to fight for resources, and the resource is that celestial that's coming out of the planet.
Ah, finally.
And the reason they're fighting
Finally.
for that, the reason they're fighting for that resource, is because he's made entirely out of adamantium.
Not vibranium?
No, adamantium. So this is the MCU's debut of adamantium in the MCU. I just repeated myself. That's
a lot of nerdy lore.
And when Harrison Ford was on stage, he was talking about how, yeah, we're trying to fight for adamantium and stuff like that. And Kevin Feige himself says, I never thought I would have a nerd moment to hear Harrison Ford just say the word adamantium over here. And everyone just went nuts. Because even I was like, right? Harrison Ford's on stage talking about Red Hulk and talking about adamantium. It's crazy how we're here. But that's cool. I like that. They're like, at least they're one of my biggest problems of these two phases so far, 4 and 5, is they just keep having stuff they're not wrapping up. Loose ends that they're not wrapping up. So hearing that they're going to wrap up this giant celestial thing, I was like, okay, that's 1 out of the 20, but good.
Great.
You know? And that's cool. I think that's brilliant too, because that sounds so realistic. Of course, everyone's going to want fucking adamantium.
Yes.
Like,
we're finally moving away from the snap. God, every 2 seconds. The blip this, the blip that. I'm like, can we just... These are all A+s for me. All thumbs up, all yes. Great.
So that's pretty much it, which I was like, that's cool. That sounds like fun. I'm interested. I'm not too, oh my God, I can't wait for this movie. But I'm like, you definitely got my interest because I can't wait to see how, like, Red Hulk and the leader and all no, I don't think they said that. Never mind. I was going to say the asterisk on this, but I think they confirmed that Sam Wilson won't be taking the super soldier serum in this movie. I want to say they confirmed that on stage.
Okay.
But then the next one they showed off was the Thunderbolts.
This one is a toss-up.
Yeah, this one's, I agree. It still feels like a Suicide Squad kind of thing. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. They said the cast was, the entire cast showed up at Hall H and they were sitting down. They got everybody. I think the only person that wasn't there yet, I would have to double check on this, but was Taskmaster.
Okay.
But I believe Taskmaster's still in the movie. I think she's just whoever's Taskmaster wasn't on stage.
Gotcha.
But they got everybody. They got all the actors came up on stage except for David Harbour. And then David Harbour was in the audience dressed as Red Guardian saying, you guys not dress up? I thought we were all, what the? I love David Harbour. So you can just tell he's so, dude, I'm Red Guardian. I'm going to have a fucking blast with this. Like, let's go. He showed up as Red Guardian. Ghost, the girl from Ghost, from Ant-Man's there. Yeah. Then Elena, the Black Widow's sister.
Yep.
Bucky, oh my God, the actor. Sebastian Stan, the soldier showed up there. And I forgot her name, but the woman from
Seinfeld.
So it's great to see them all. This is the Thunderbolts. Confirmed, definitely, that the title, it says Thunderbolts, but it has an asterisk.
Yep.
And now confirmed that Avengers 5 is now. And then after the name change, to say obviously why they changed the name was it used to be called the Kang Dynasty. The logo was all purple and everything. I think we all know why they changed it. Cancellation of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror.
Yep.
And I think we're backtracking. I think we're backtracking the whole Kang, the multiverse thing. So we'll have to wait and see. But then, the shit that made me fucking jump out of my fucking couch, I was like, oh my God. To be confirmed that both movies, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, will be directed by the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony Russo. Oh my God, you have no idea the sigh, the relief of, I'm telling you right now, I think all movies still to come could all be mid, like they still are. And I still think the Russo brothers can handle it. Still make something out of this shit. So they'll make this they'll put this house of cards with tape if they have to. They can fix this. I know they can.
They're masters of their craft, and I'm so glad that they're back because 100%, whatever. I can't imagine the check that they must have written the Russos. I know they went to go do the Gray Man, and that was probably not as amazing, but these guys just know how to make an Avengers movie and give everybody their screen time. And
they are the kings of ensembles.
Yeah.
They're the kings. Fucking Arrested Development. And the Marvel and Avengers movies like Endgame and fucking so good. I think, okay, I'm telling you right now, my first opinion when I first saw this, I was like, I will admit, I was very, I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Which was cool to see him on stage. But I will admit, when I first saw the news, I was like, oh man, I don't know how I feel about that. And I've been seeing a lot of people on the internet agreeing, saying that's weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Right? But to slowly like simmer on it and everything, I think like I've read it on paper. This is interesting. I think you can turn this into something an interesting kind of character and unique. It's just gonna take a Herculean way to write this because I'm like, this is weird. This is just full weird. And obviously, my nitpick, if I have to take a nitpick on it, is just like the Fantastic Four, it's a different universe. So seeing not the Reed Richards and Sue Storm, the ones I know or grew up with, be different because it's a different universe, and seeing a different Victor Von Doom, it's Ronald Jr., but it's Tony Stark. It's they're changing it, and this is my nitpick. Obviously, is because those are the comics and those are what I read, and I want to see the comic accurate versions of them. But we're gonna turn it on its head, and I'm like, damn it. So that's my nitpick. I just want to see the characters I know look like the characters, be their own characters, and I feel like I'm rambling here.
No, I'm gonna give you my interpretation of what transpired. The movie ends, Deadpool ends, and my friend just picks up her phone and just starts showing us Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. And this is right after the credits. We just got up to leave and it's everywhere. I still don't think it's a good idea. As a casting choice, I think I think Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor and he can play the bad guy and he could do it's not an issue with his acting. I know he can knock it out the park. It's just for me Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like you can cast him and like you said, it can be done. It can be done.
That's where I'm on the same page as you. I would not want. I would be like, nope, just get fucking Cillian Murphy or someone else in there. But I'm like, there you go. I'm more open to the idea. I'm like, okay, this has the execution of it. This has some kind of potential to be really cool. But man, I don't know. I guess it's gonna be.
For me, it also plays into the multiverse because in Deadpool, they're acknowledging that the multiverse isn't working as a thing. I mean, if we're gonna get a variant version of Tony Stark who becomes Doctor Doom, and we're gonna get a variant version of Silver Surfer who's not Silver Surfer,
Variant version of the Fantastic Four.
a variant version of the Fantastic Four. At what point do we get the true characters that we like? You know what I'm saying? If these are
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say this kind of sucks. That I want to see Earth 616, fucking that variant, shit like that. So like, no, we're getting this universe. And you have to remember, Joe, I know Deadpool makes fun of it, and a lot of people are getting sick of the multiverse, but we are in the multiverse saga. We do have to finish this like multiverse,
storybook
stuff they set up.
Yeah.
Storybook. And I think I know what they're trying to do too. It's George Lucas. It rhymes. Iron Man and Tony Stark is the heart of the Infinity Saga, and now Robert Downey Jr. is going to be the Thanos, the evil heart, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Think of the multi. I'm like, okay, that's cute. Whatever.
It's cool, but man, this is where I also lean into the acting. I know I said Robert Downey Jr. can do it because he played a great villain in Oppenheimer, but there's just the way I think he delivers lines, even in Oppenheimer. I was like, there's flashes of Tony in there. There's flashes of, and I don't want to go into a movie where he's supposed to be playing Doctor Doom, and there's flashes of Tony when he's delivering lines or the way he gestures his body. You know what I'm saying? Or obviously there's going to be a quip. There's got to be a quip. You know what I'm saying? He's going to quip, and it's going to be very Tony Stark-esque, which is fascinating because I thought it was just before you told me that it was a variant version of Tony Stark. I thought it was just Doctor Doom. So initially, I'm like, terrible idea. Don't like it. Now that you're telling me that it's a variant version of Tony Stark who becomes Doctor Doom, now we can start playing ball. You know what I'm saying? It's a wild idea.
You also have to remember he's going to be in a suit, so he's going to be acting through his mask and everything. So.
And another thing, Doom is very egotistical. He loves himself to death. That's why he wears a mask. Apparently, there's like theories that there's nothing wrong with his face.
Yeah, they change it up here and there.
Yeah, and in comics, but I really like that idea. I think it goes back to Jack Kirby and shit like that, where there's literally nothing wrong with his face, but he sees himself as hideous.
Yeah,
but I could see, we're pretty much in the same wavelength. I could see Robert Downey Jr. give that performance of an egotistical, maniacal. But yeah, what a
It's gonna be interesting to see this
weird
Doctor
choice.
Doom. It's gonna be interesting to see this Doctor Doom interact with Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
to be cool about
Essentially, what
this.
they're doing, if you just think about it, they're just doing evil Iron Man. It's like everyone does the trope. We have Bizarro, we have Goku Black, and the most beloved character ever is Iron Man in the Infinity Saga. Who's gonna be our villain for the Multiverse Saga? Is evil Iron Man. Ooh, and I
Ooh.
feel like it's gonna be very similar. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I am on the boat of I would not want this. I do not want this. I would have hired someone new. Blah blah. But man, I apparently got this plan, so let's wait and see.
Yeah, I'm on
And
the. Okay,
that's where
yeah.
they ended. Sorry, yeah, and that's where they ended up. The Hall H panel, everyone going nuts. It was all over the internet, and they just ended it right there. Good way too, because when they said they were only going to talk about 3 movies, and they ended it with the Fantastic Four thing, and I was like, "Is that it?" I was like, "Yo, huge L." Everyone was like, "No, but it's shitty." Then they changed the name to Doomsday, and I was like, "Okay, still not enough." And then the Russo brothers showed up. And I fucking did a cartwheel. Anyways, that was it. That's all the news.
Yeah, just fantastic news. Like,
What did your
really,
friends think?
it was a different group of them.
Hodgepodge.
Yeah, it was a hodgepodge. Jimmy is on board. Jimmy's like, it's Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, Jimmy loves like anything. He's so optimistic. That's why I love him, because I'm very like, this isn't gonna work, and he's just give it a chance. But he's on the boat of Robert Downey Jr. can do no wrong, and him as Doctor Doom is an inspired choice that's gonna work. And then I have my other friend who is just like, what is happening? He was so like, what? Robert Downey Jr. is coming back? Oh, ah. Like, he was just happy that Robert Downey Jr. is back. And
I've
then
been seeing that
me,
on the internet.
yeah, and then me, who's like, this, that's awesome that Robert Downey Jr. is back, but I think it tarnishes his legacy as Tony Stark. Um, and it's a weird choice for Doctor Doom. When we could just get Doctor Doom, why not just do Doctor Doom? But yeah, if they, like you said, I really do feel like Marvel and not Disney. I generally feel like it's Marvel with Kevin Feige bringing the Russos back, that they're trying to right the ship, and they're really trying to get people hyped and back on board. It's just decisions like this where it's not the characters who are the true characters, where I'm like, why I want to, like, if you're trying to right the ship, the best way to do that is to give us the characters that we know that are true to their characters. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna adapt Doctor Doom, don't give us a variant version.
And if you didn't want, the way I saw it too was like, if you didn't want to do Fantastic Four in MCU 616, because maybe it'll like the continuity of how the scientists become the Fantastic Four, just like the continuity of the actual world building, if the Avengers are already around, or the continuity of how does Latveria work in the MCU if it wasn't around, or Doctor Doom or Victor Von Doom, right? And you just wanted to do, you still want to do that stuff, but you've already built the MCU around that's already established Shield and Sword and the Avengers and all that stuff. Then why don't you just, like, you're in the multiverse saga? Why don't you just do a different universe that has the classic Fantastic Four and the classic Doctor Doom, classic Silver Surfer, comic book accurate ones, and then you merge the two. Because I think everyone believes that's what they're going to do with the mutants. Because the mutants are impossible to do right now in the MCU 616. So the theory is obviously, oh, we'll just get mutants from another universe, and whatever comes in the future, maybe after the saga, we'll just do that. And I would have to believe that's what they're going for. They're not that stupid enough to be like, oh, we'll do a different universe, but different mutants, and they don't look at all like they do. I'm like, no, like there's your avenue. But
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
yeah.
I'm open to the idea. But
I'm
still a lot of cool news.
I'm open. I'm optimistic. I think Marvel is genuinely trying to right the ship. I just think choices like this make me so nervous, because it's not the reason I got on the MCU train in 2008 to begin with. I got on the hype train in 2008 because they adapted Tony Stark. They adapted Captain America. They adapted Thor, son of Odin. You know what I'm saying?
And also, like you said, man, I said this a while back, I think in one of the other podcasts, but I think in the Ant-Man podcast, where I think we all like to look at if they're stirring the ship, taking the ship and doing the right thing, and I guess doing the right thing, and I guess starting to get on board with better writing and better storytelling, whatever you want to call it. If they are starting to do that now, please, okay, then maybe good. But you gotta remember, we all like to look at this and be like, hey, this is the Fantastic Four in the '60s and female Silver Surfer, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. We're all looking at that and thinking, oh, they have a plan. We're all looking at it because Kevin Feige has a master plan. From, how would I say this? From the track record, to me, it looks like, no, they don't have a master plan. The Multiverse of Madness had nothing to do with the multiverse. Fucking Kang the Conqueror, there used to be Thanos, just dies in Ant-Man and doesn't move the plot forward at all to the things. We're all looking at this being like, oh, there must be plans for all this. And also all their loose ends. White Vision and the Eternals. What happened to the Eternals? Are we getting a sequel? Where's Shang-Chi? Like, we're going years around these characters, and it looks like they're planning and their stuff isn't they're not connecting the dots here.
Yeah.
And if they could start now being like, okay, we have to start connecting these dots. We have to start connecting dots, then sure. But it is worrisome to see these news come out and still be like, I don't know, it's still up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
No, yeah, I totally agree because, like you said, this is the multiverse chapter, and we got to see it through to the end. And if that means that we got to get variant versions of characters that we love and not their true selves, man, that's a risky ticket to punch in, man. But I mean, I still have faith in Kevin Feige. This was a great movie. I think Deadpool.
Sorry to cut you off, but I don't think I meant that. I didn't mean that. They have to do multiverse stuff, so do multiverse stuff. I was saying that they've been setting things up in the future in their master plan, and Phase 4. I feel like they haven't they haven't executed on those plans at all for future MCU stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then hearing this news, I think we're all looking at it and be like, oh, don't worry, like, fuck yeah, it's Fantastic Four in the '60s, Female Surfer, like, don't worry, there's something. And I'm here being like, I don't know, guys, I think they're just doing it just to do it, and we're gonna look at this and be like, why was there like I'm worried that because of the track record in Phase 4 and the beginning of this Phase 5 that we like to think that, oh, don't worry, they got a plan for Kang, they got a plan for White Vision, they got a plan for the Eternals. And no, it's all blowing up in their face, and they're leaving all these loose ends. And I'm like, let's see how this Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom turns out.
See, this is why I love doing the podcast, because I do feel like we're gonna come back to this specific moment in time and really dissect what we just said, because I do exactly what you just said might actually happen.
Of course,
because their track record with Phase 4 and Phase 5 was all over the place. Sacred timelines, multiverse, the TVA.
Yeah, maybe we didn't even mention that. Like the fucking Loki show and everything. Like,
yeah, there's
what's going on?
So much things happening. You know what I'm saying? For them to do Doomsday and all these like different variants. Do I have confidence that everything's gonna work out? Like you said, man, you hope that a female Silver Surfer, a variant Doctor Doom, that shit is explained, and we get into that fucking doc nice and cush, you know what I'm saying? But
they gotta get us comic book fans, not just a regular movie going on. They gotta get us comic book fans to believe I didn't need to see Victor Von Doom on screen. I'm okay with seeing this Tony Stark Doctor Doom variant. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think that's so close to impossible, but I guess we have to wait and see. And judging, like I keep saying, judging from the track record, I think it's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
And that's my issue with the casting. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that why I want to say that I'm on board, but when you have decisions like this and you're not giving us the true character, like you said, you have to get us on board. You know what I'm saying? It scares me a little bit because exactly what you said. You know what I'm saying?
The worrisome in your face. Oh my God.
Yeah. Because it didn't work. And the first 10 years of Marvel, like, we've had so many discussions of moments where we're like, there's no way they're doing that. It's going to blow up in their face. There's no way they're actually going to give us. And then it turns out to be true. You know what I'm saying? There's no way they're going to give us Giant Man. And then Ant-Man turns to Giant Man. And you're just like, wow, like, I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? Moments, all these little moments where the MCU did it. And then going into the next chapter of Phase 4 and 5, we were, I wouldn't say naive, but I guess naive, because we were 10 years of success. You would think, like you said, you would think he had a plan. But yeah, man, this is a fascinating road to be on because it can go either way. It really
This is
could.
this is why I'm not on the hype train because I'm tired of being let down. Until I think I'm on the same boat as everyone. They're not. Everyone's still thinking the track record hasn't been so good. A lot of the movies are mid until they hit a banger. Then yeah, probably on board. And for me, they need to hit a banger, and they need to get me excited for the future of the MCU, for future movies, meaning setting up whatever has to come in the future of the MCU with the Doomsday and Secret Wars.
That's
But
a
yeah,
great
like you
point.
said,
That's a great point because I did start this podcast super excited, and I said I'm back on the train, and I still am. I'm back on the train. I am hyped for future projects. Like I'm hyped because I do feel like Deadpool was a resurgence of excitement.
but don't you think? But don't you think that will stand on its own?
Oh no,
They didn't
yeah,
move the-
Deadpool is its own movie, and that's what I really do think the MCU needed a banger. And just like Spider-Man, it was the banger and it needed to happen. It's a great movie, and I think it got $94 million on a Friday. Is just insane numbers. And for anybody to just be like, comic book movies are dead and superhero fatigue, that's all bullshit because clearly people are still going out in droves to go watch Deadpool and Wolverine. They gotta garner, like you said, they gotta garner that excitement level. Because I'm excited. I came out of this movie excited. I'm like, yes. And then all this news starts coming out of like where they're heading to next, and I'm like, okay, I just came out of your brilliant movie. I'm game. Let's go. I'm willing to get on this train and go wherever the fuck they take me.
That's a good point. Phase 4, only good movie in my opinion, banger, is No Way Home, and that was awesome. And then I feel like Phase 5's banger of this thing is definitely this Deadpool Wolverine movie, because and they both deal with the multiverse, they both deal with fan service, and they both do them super well. I think I said this a while back in another podcast. If I am repeating myself, I'm sorry, but isn't it funny? I know we're all. Make sure this is like the last note.
Yeah.
Isn't this funny that the Spider-Man was good and Deadpool was good in the MCU's multiverse saga? A Sony movie killed it, and now I know Ryan Reynolds it's not a Fox movie, but it's Ryan Reynolds and his team. It's Ryan Reynolds and his Fox team and the same writers and same it's a percentage of the same crew from the Fox universe that helped with this movie. And it's so odd to me that like the MCU is not working, but the stuff that wasn't working, hey, they're killing it now. You know.
That is a fascinating point, John. Oh my god, that's exactly yes.
Kind of timeline are we in? What kind of timeline are we in that we're like, yo, Spider-Man and Deadpool fucking killed it? What about Black Panther 2? That's crazy.
Yeah, but we're there,
I
man.
guess.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be fascinating seeing where we go from here.
Yeah, I'm still watching these movies. I'm still gonna watch these movies. I love superhero movies.
Yeah.
I'll watch them all. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see, baby.
I guess that'll do it for this episode of the Ready 2000 podcast. I guess I'll say bye.
Hey, take it easy, guys. This was awesome.
It's good.
God, what a great God on my birthday, man. On my birthday, bro.
Happy birthday,
Christ.
Joe.
Thanks, man.
I'll leave her one more thing. Why was Thor crying?
Seriously, like we gotta get to the bottom of this.